Okay, good morning, friends. This is Dr. Rajat from the Department of ECE. So today we'll look at the R2R ladder DAC using the op amp. So I hope you're able to see the schematic on screen. So as you have studied in the theory, you know that you are having a ladder of resistors which are of value R and 2R, as you can see here. So in this particular case, you can see here this particular resistor which I'm pointing at through my pointer, R3 is the 2K. Okay, and the other horizontal resistors which are there, they are having a resistance of value 1K, 1 kilo ohm. Okay, so R2, R1 and R0 are all 1 kilo ohm. This R3 here, which is the last resistance, that is going to have 2 kilo ohm as its value. And you can see here the structure of the ladder is slightly different from what we have studied in the theory. Right, in the theory we had one VREF which was connected to one end of the resistor, and all others were having switches. So the based on the value of the switch, the resistor was either connected to ground or left floating. Okay, but here for the purpose of ease of simulation, we have inverted the ladder. So each of the other four resistors which are out there, all the vertical resistors, all of them are having value of 2 kilo ohm, and then they are connected to switches. You can think of these as switches, right? So if the value is given as high or VREF, you can think that the switch is on, otherwise the switch is going to be off, right? So D0, D1, D2, D3 are going to be the bit values, right? So this is going to be a 4-bit DAC. So these are the 4 bits out there. So if the value is high, then it means that the switch is turned on or that particular bit is high. Okay, so by simple basic circuit analysis, you can work out what is the value of voltage corresponding to the case when each of these switches are turned on, right? So you can see here, if you look at any point you take, the resistance you see to the left of that point is going to be 1 kilo ohm exactly, or R, right? You can see here. Anyway, you can work it out. I will leave it as an exercise to you. So basically, we'll work out and find out that for D0, the corresponding value is going to be VREF by 16. For D1, it's going to be VREF upon 8. And for D2, it's going to be VREF upon 4. And D3 is going to be VREF upon 2. All right. So that is the ladder part. Then you have the, you can see the op amp, which is out here. Okay, this, I guess, it's already been covered. So let me just go into it and then show if possible. Okay, so you can see the structure of the op amp shown here. So this is a two-stage op amp. So the first stage consists of a differential amplifier with single-ended output. Okay, and the input you have the bias current, and then the two inputs. Okay, so V1 is going to be the inverting input, and V2 is going to be the non-inverting input to this differential amplifier. And then you've already studied that in a two-stage op amp, right? The first stage is going to give you high gain, and the second stage will give you high swing, high output swing, right? Because in a single stage, there is going to be a trade-off between the gain and the swing. Okay, so in the second stage, a simple common source amplifier is being used. Okay, so this is to be designed in a way that it will give us high output swing. So the gain will be essentially given by the differential amplifier. As you have seen, for the particular design we have used, we'll get a gain of about 100 from the differential amplifier. And the common source, essentially, you can get gains up to 5 or 10 based on how you design it. Okay, and then we have the power source VDD and then VSS, okay, for the negative power supply. Okay, so that is the structure of the op amp. So again, it's going to be a differential input and a single-ended output. Okay, so back to the R2R ladder DAC. So the op amp is used as a voltage follower. So the output is shorted to the inverting input, which is V1, and the non-inverting input, whatever is the voltage obtained by the R2R ladder DAC, that is given as an input to the non-inverting input of the op amp. Okay, so the output has to be essentially the same value as this point here, which is the effective output of the R2R ladder. Okay, so but in order to source the output, right, in order to provide a current to the output as a buffer, the op amp is being used as a voltage follower. All right. So that is the basic circuit of the R2R ladder DAC. Now let us look at the test bench of how you can build a test bench around this and then test it. So basically the inputs of these are going to be the 4 bits D0 to through D3, the bias current IDC, the power supply VDD and VSS. Okay, so these 4 have to be defined. Okay, so this is the test bench. I hope you're able to see the screen. So here, right. So this is the R2R circuit which we just saw converted as a symbol, right? I hope you're already familiar with that, how to do that. So here we are having the 3 set of inputs, the input bias current, and then you have the VDD, right? 2.5 volts positive given to that, and then VSS minus 2.5 volt given to that. Then we have the 4 input bits, D0 through D3, given by 4 pulse signals. Okay, so these are the V pulse sources which you have got from the library, analog lib. Okay, and then here, I hope again you are familiar with this. So what you do, you have this pulse, you'll need to define 2 voltages. Okay, maybe let me just, okay. Let me just show the properties of this V pulse. Okay, so you can see that basically 2 voltages you have to set, 0 and 2 volt. So the 0 is going to be the equivalent for ground or the lower value. Then this 2 is going to be essentially the VREF. Okay, and then you give a particular period for this. So this is going to switch between logic low and logic high, right? This period you have to remember, it's important. Okay, and the pulse width is given as half of that period. All right, so that was corresponding to D0 or the LSB. Now let us look at the second LSB, D1. Here you can see that the period is given as 20 nanoseconds, which was twice the period given for the LSB. All right, so the LSB is the one which will be changing at the fastest rate, and the next LSB D1 will change at half that speed, or the time period is going to be double. Okay, even the pulse width is being doubled, which is exactly half of the period, as you can see here. Similarly, you can expect, right, D2 to have a time period of 40 nanosecond, right, which is 4 times the LSB. All right, and the pulse width is given as exactly half of the time period. Similarly, the MSB, you can see it's going to be 80 nanosecond, which is 8 times the period of the LSB. All right, and pulse width naturally is half of the period. All right, so this is how you set up the various inputs for the 4 bits. All right, and then we can run this. All right, so you launch the analog design environment, ADE. All right, so here a transient simulation will suffice. Okay, so you can, right, so here you saw that the period of the MSB was the largest, right? 80 nanosecond was the largest. So twice that, at least twice of that you have to give, meaning at least 160 nanosecond you have to do the simulation. Here, just as a round figure, 200 nanoseconds is given for the stop time. All right. So that is the only analysis you will need for this particular circuit. And to plot all the various signals, we are plotting the output. Okay, that is shown here. And we are going to plot all the 4 different input values, right? So D0, D1, D2, and you can use D3 here. D4 is put, it's okay. These 2 is not required. I'm going to remove them. All right, so then we can do a netlist and run. Yeah, so I hope you're able to see the waveform, right? You can just see here. So you can see this D0 is going to be the LSB. So you can see that that is toggling at the fastest rate. And D1 is the next LSB, which is toggling at half the rate. Similarly, D2 is again half the rate of D1, and D4 or D3 also you can use. Anyway, D3 is not used. So that is changing at the least rate. All right. So here you can see at the edge, just before 10 nanosecond, you can see that, or not 10 nanosecond, sorry, 5 nanosecond, you can see that all the bits are going to be high. So that particular voltage, the corresponding voltage which you are going to see here, that is going to be the highest value. All right. Then in the next case, the LSB has toggled to be low. Okay. So this output voltage has decreased. All right. So this is how you can analyze the various bit combinations you can find here. Right. For a period of 5 nanosecond, you are getting each bit pattern, and then the output, right? The analog output value is essentially the output of the DAC. All right. So by collecting these values, you'll be able to map um, the um, the analog voltage output versus the digital input code word. All right. So yeah, leave it as an exercise to collect these values and then find the INL, DNL, and so on. Okay. So thank you for your attention.